Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Council. I am Luke Anthony Ward, and joining me is the Hermione Granger to my Ron Weasley, Mr. Michael Brown. Michael, how are we?
Hello there, it's me, Hermione.
Hermione. Technically, as we are time travelers in this episode, because by the time this is broadcast, it will be 2021. But actually, we were in 2020, so whatever we say could either be the greatest bit of foresight or the worst piece of audio from the Council podcast circa 2020.
Yeah, that is true.
Who knows? As ever, we are here to cancel your council issues. We will go through them. We'll go through this week's headlines and much more. So without further ado, Michael, would you like to go first this week?
Yeah, I would. And today, I'm going to be cancelling. I'm starting off strong. I'm going to be cancelling scrambled eggs.
Oh, God.
You don't seem enthusiastic.
Here we go.
Okay, let me set the scene. It's been Christmas recently. Are you familiar with the tradition? It's not as traditional as a Christmas lunch, but the idea that for breakfast on Christmas, you have scrambled egg with smoked salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard? Yeah.
Yeah.
And my parents made it, and I was like, oh, I don't really want any. But later on, I was jonesing for some smoked salmon, so I made a smoked salmon with poached egg, and it was so much better. And this is what I'm going to get to. This is my issue with scrambled egg. The best part of an egg is the yolk. Everyone knows that. It's the best part because it's just so tasty. And the problem with the scrambled egg is that it kind of just gets mixed up, and you don't end up with any of like the nice diversity of flavor. Like when you have like a boiled egg or a fried egg or a poached egg, you get the yolk just spilling everywhere, and it like coats everything, and just and it's like so, and it just in your mouth. And then you have scrambled egg, and it's kind of just like just homogeneous mush. Like scrambled egg feels like gruel to me. It's the worst eggs, and I'll fight anyone who says otherwise.
Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
I suppose in a way it would be hypocritical to not swear, seeing as we are very much against censorship and political correctness here.
Okay. Scrambled eggs is good shit, man. I mean, scrambled eggs on toast with like bacon and sausages as part of a fry up. Like, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
I don't know.
My counter argument is this: have you ever seen the US sitcom Frasier?
You know what? Actually, I've not watched it religiously. I've seen an episode or two.
You know the
Oh yeah,
reference
sorry,
of
I
tossed
know.
salads and scrambled eggs.
Tossed salads and scrambled eggs. Well, to be fair, tossed salads and scrambled eggs seems like a weird combination in and of itself. Like salad,
Yeah,
salad and scrambled egg. I don't know. Like I can understand salad and hard-boiled egg, but like
scrambled. Maybe I seem confused, but maybe. But I got you pegged. That's the genuine what the lyrics are.
I've got you pegged.
Yeah.
Oh, kinky.
Yeah.
Looks like eggs aren't the only thing getting scrambled.
Way hey. Yeah, I'm not cancelling that. There's no chance. The scrambled eggs is
when you said you liked it. Well, the important thing is that I've expressed my very firm opinion, which is that scrambled eggs, it's too homogenous. It hasn't got that diversity of yolk and whites. And I like to have my whites and my other things separate.
Just for clarity, how do you cook your scrambled eggs?
Well, see, that's the thing. The other issue is I have heard that if you cook scrambled eggs, like obviously I've seen Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay and all that lot make their scrambled eggs, and they do some fancy stuff. And I think maybe if I had it by them, I suspect it could be that a lot of the scrambled eggs I've had in the past have been slightly overcooked so that the yolk kind of loses its yolkiness. Because really, for me, just a scrambled egg, it's just butter, eggs in a pan, stir them up.
Oh, so you're actually cooking it in a frying pan and not a microwave?
Oh, don't worry, I'm not cooking them. That would be crazy. Yeah, that would be.
Okay.
I mean, I can understand that, but
no.
Like I can imagine it. I've seen somebody make an omelette in a mug, in a microwave.
Why?
You suck at cooking.
I don't get the appeal. It's like even when during lockdown, people are making cookies in a mug because they think they're fancy and they're not.
I know, yeah, it is weird. I mean, I find microwave cooking something which I don't trust. Like I only recently found out you can actually cook if your chicken is a bit raw in the middle. you can cook it in a microwave and kind of that will apparently kill it all. But I'm just like, oh, I don't trust that. I don't like the idea of eating a chicken that was raw and then put in the microwave and cooked. It just doesn't, I mean, obviously it would taste terrible, but it just doesn't sit right with me. Microwave should just be for heating things up that were cooked in a normal way beforehand. Can't be cooking things in the microwave, you lunatics. So
Well,
I guess can we cancel microwaves? No, no.
no, no,
Microwaves
no,
are
afraid
useful.
not.
So yeah, yeah.
Afraid not.
All right, that's fine. What are you
Definitely.
canceling, Luke?
I'm going to be cancelling the coronavirus tier system.
I thought that might be something we were canceling.
At time of recording, we've just seen the vast majority of the Middle England going to tier 4, the highest tier, which are joining both Bedfordshire and Buckinghamshire.
Hey,
And welcome to our world. It won't be Happy New Year; it will be Happy New Tier, which I guarantee will be trending, no doubt.
because of
Yeah,
this show.
I mean, like, what the fuck? It's getting a bit of a joke now. Now they're saying it could be 12 to 13 weeks now until we get some sort of light out the end of the tunnel where we can be vaccinated and go and be happy again. Which, for context, that brings us up to the week before Easter. Like that's how long we're talking.
Yeah, that it is so dodgy. And I mean, it's kind of a case of obviously with this coronavirus, I guess the one good thing is it's so unpredictable that it's kind of like whenever they give bad predictions, you can kind of be like, well, it probably won't be exactly like that, and maybe things will be better. And I guess the good thing about the tier system is it's possible that at least some places will get better before, while other places are bad. So at least we're not all getting screwed over all at once. It's there's some variability to it. And I mean, right now, the tier system, the only thing that's been bothering me about the tier system in the context of right now has been issues with shopping. Basically, getting all the food you need because things might go out of stock because of all this panic buying.
Getting all your fajitas and
Oh, you
all
know
your
what?
Asda
That's
issues.
my fajitas. That's Hispanic buying. But
Oh, I mean,
yeah, I would like to give credit. I stole that joke from my sister.
that is a superb follow up.
Yes.
That is a
Uh,
superb follow up.
no, yeah. I mean, of course, yes, I will. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of the tier system itself isn't exactly what I have a problem with. Although it does kind of, I don't know, it feels worse when you're being told you're in tier 4, because I don't know, like that just because usually it's like 1, 2, 3. So 4 just feels like it's like the A plus of tiers, but in a
It's
bad way.
and like even sort of why my Christmas was so miserable was that literally in the space of a day we went from welcome to tier 3, welcome to tier 4.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I mean, who knew? And that meant you had the anticipation of where is it going to go next. I mean, I do wonder if there's. See, I don't think there can be another tier. I guess the other tier is just everyone's in padded isolation cells. That's the next step up.
mm.
But to be fair, maybe if we were all in tier 5 for like maybe the worst part is we're in tier 4 right now. If you were in tier 5 for just like a week, and you weren't allowed to see anyone at all, then suddenly everything will be fine. Maybe the issue is tier 4. It's kind of this. It's not quite extreme enough.
Yeah, but should the tier systems be cancelled?
Yeah. See, the issue is, I mean, in some sense, I'm like, at least with the tier system, there's that element of it varies from location to location. So the selfish part of me wants to be like, well, I kind of like the fact that maybe Buckinghamshire will go down in the tier system at some point, but. I guess you know what, just because it's annoying, I will agree with you that the tier system should be cancelled.
Good.
Now, are we going to do comments or news? I always forget what the rules are.
Let's start with comments.
Yes.
Because I like comments to talk about. I mean, we're going to jump into the one that came from last week's episode.
Yes.
We have a application to join our council from Gabsiska Responds. She says, I want to join your council. Is there space for old drunk women? We are the best councillors. We were discussing this off air. She says she is the best writer of parody songs. She'd never heard of her rendition of Bob the Pillhead. Can he drop 10? Yes, he can. Ecstasy and acid are just a few, but Bob and so many drugs to do. Nothing brings me more joy than writing parody songs or teen pop or even better children's singles. I mean, she does have a good case, and we would like to bring her on for a job interview if she's
Yeah, for
interested.
diversity, you are right. I mean, I guess the only issue is I do feel like we're not quite at a point where it feels like it's a bit premature to be having guests on when, only we only need to take in 39. Actually, 39, it's gone up. 39 guests, and we've hit our subscriber base. But it's going up. So maybe what we need to do, the only thing we need is to make sure we're getting in more subscribers than we are guest appearances, because
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to reach a point where it just becomes one massive circle of just people coming on the show.
This is
So
true.
yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely it's going to be something to consider. But we'll have to. I would personally like to wait until we've got a slightly a slightly bigger sell, I guess, as a thing, which is, we're getting there thanks to you watching this. And speaking of actually the people watching this, if they wanted to write in, say, with their own complaints and things that they would like to cancel, they can do that on cancelcouncilyt@gmail.com. That's cancelcouncilyt@gmail.com.
Nailed it. And you can follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. That is Cancel YT. That is CANCELCOUNCIL
YT.
YT. Go
Yeah.
follow us
If
there.
you leave too much of a gap, it sounds like we're just calling all of our audience white. Follow us, Whitey. Hey, Whitey, follow us. Brilliant.
Please get onto the headlines. What have you got for us?
Oh yes, the headlines. So I wasn't sure what order to do this in, because we got some slightly more. We go from silly to serious, but I think we'll go from serious to silly because I thought that would be more fun. So we're going to start off with this article. It's actually from Reason.com, which is a right wing news site. But I figured, we'll take our information from a diversity of sources, and this is the story of a 15-year-old girl who said a racial slur, and then 3 years later, the information was revealed when she was 18 and applying to colleges. So I think I'll just get the video depicted Groves, who was 15 at the time and had just obtained her learner's permit, saying, "I can drive, N-word." The remark was not directed at anyone in particular. The brief video clip featuring it circulated on Snapchat until it was obtained and saved by Galligan. Galligan is the person who later circulated this video 3 years later, who had grown furious at how often he heard his white classmates using the N-word. Now, I think this story is interesting because it's something else they mention. Again, I don't want to read the whole article, but something else they mention is that there is a very large number of people. It's become a recent phenomenon. People, usually white people, obviously, getting their college applications rejected because of racist things they have said online. Now, I mean, I have my own opinions on this, but just what do you think? What are your first impressions? So this young girl, when she was 15, said, "I can drive now," N-word, and then obviously 3 years later, somebody says, and brings it up again just as she's
How old is she again?
She was
20.
15. So she's 18 now.
Right.
She was 15 when she made this comment.
Yeah, bad move, isn't it? I mean,
I know.
If she was like 15 and now she's like 82, and she said those words, I mean, we could, there was a level of leniency that we could apply, but we can't, I'm afraid.
Well, see, I have the only issue I have with this is that I think I guess it's the inconsistency of it, and the concern I have is that it's a case of it's more like she's an idiot, and I guess that's my problem with this. I feel like it's not so much this, and it's this general phenomenon of children or teenagers getting crapped on because of stupid things they've said online, and it's that like it's really punishing being stupid more so than it's punishing being racist. Because let's be honest, teenagers are idiots, and there's like a part of me that's sort of like, if you're 15, then any disposition you have towards saying a particular word, especially bearing in mind this was not said in a explicitly racist context, just it's an inappropriate word being said for shock humor. I'm like, ultimately, she's not grown enough as a person that you can really say that's who she is. Because ultimately, obviously, when I was 15, I wasn't running around saying these types of inappropriate things. I mean, I don't know. Snapchat, I guess Snapchat was a thing when I was 15. I don't remember it though. So I'm kind of like, I feel like really we should stop having this attitude of a lot of the, I guess, cancel culture of social justice, slapping people down for what they do on the internet seems to be disproportionately targeting people who are minors. And I kind of think like, I wish we spent more time focusing on the racism of people who are like 30 and 40 or even in their 20s instead of just being like, oh, this girl who was 15 said this thing. So I do agree it was stupid of her to say this.
Do you know what vibes it gives off?
What?
It's Friday, Friday. I can't
Gotta get.
believe it's
Yeah,
it's
imagine.
very Rebecca Black-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, imagine if that. Oh dear.
Do you
Yeah.
know you know what I mean?
No,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
It's like, I mean, that's kind of it. That's kind of the funny thing. Like, in a way, I feel like from the perspective of a 15-year-old, and I'm not like one of those people who thinks 15-year-olds have no idea what's going on, because obviously they do. But saying a naughty word for shock humor is kind of the exact same kind of stupid thing that a teenager would do as producing a really terrible song and uploading it to the internet. And, you know, ultimately, yeah, like I say, I would say the issue is the blame mostly would lie with, I guess, the parents, if anyone. And it kind of just seems like, you know, and the thing is, obviously, you get these stories about a lot of, see, I have seen examples of people who have kind of posted racist things literally in the wake of Black Lives Matter, and
Yeah.
then they've got shut down as far as going to uni is concerned. And obviously for those people, there's kind of a more valid case there because they're literally expressing these regressive viewpoints at this current age. But in this case, I just feel like it's literally just stupidity, which I guess, to be fair, in some sense, stupidity is a good reason to not want someone to come to your university. But this is not really academic stupidity. It's just a 15-year-old girl being stupid. And it's kind of like, yeah, she was an idiot and she shouldn't have done that. But it does seem a bit weird to have it, you know, to specifically wait 3 years to be like, yeah, I'm going to dunk on her. Anyway, so that was a serious one. I knew that would be the longest discussion. And now we get to some equally serious stuff. I see. The thing is, I said it went from silly to from serious to silly. All of the last three are completely ridiculous, and I love all of them. So let's start with uh, the yoga/wellness expert wife of Alec Baldwin got called out over the holidays for presenting herself as a Spanish person, and she's been at it for quite some time. And this is about Alec Baldwin's wife, who's basically been pretending that she's Spanish when she's actually grown up her entire life in Massachusetts. Except for, I think, but her grandfather had roots in Spain that predated the American Revolution. So she's, and I guess, okay, so this is funny for one reason. I guess to obviously you're wearing, I think, your Irish attire, and obviously something that's very famous in America is people saying that they're Irish because they have roots going back.
What they say is I'm from Ireland. I'm from Massachusetts, and I like my grandfather is from Cork or Limerick, but I am from Ireland. But
I don't think that's quite a Bostonian accent, but it's fine.
it will do.
No, yeah, it sounded a bit too southern. Like, I'm from Ireland, I am. No, yeah. What do you think about? I guess that
I
this
mean,
story
learning Spanish
specifically.
can only get you so far, can't it?
That is true. I didn't even know if she knows Spanish, to be honest. I I didn't really pay attention to it too much. I just found the headline really funny of like someone pretending to be Spanish.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So yeah, what do you think about this story specifically and the concept more generally of like Americans?
Amazing, isn't it?
Mm,
Just amazing. In a world where you can identify as a penguin. or a fucking
Huh?
genderless object, you can say, right, I'm just gonna be from Spain, and
That
maybe
is true.
maybe we should take her bluff and just let her crack on with it, and then and then when like the Spanish flu comes in again, just blame it on her.
No, yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. I mean, ultimately, I do think it is a. I guess it's because people just don't like to be boring, so people just think, oh, I'll just pretend I'm from this country, and then that's enough. Now, next story. Meet the people getting off. This is from Rolling Stone, I should say. The last one was from the Daily Beast. This is from Rolling Stone. Meet the people getting off on COVID-19 nasal swabs. And I particularly like the subheading here. Inside the unexpected pleasures of hardcore Nussie simulation. Stimulation. And Nussie is a portmanteau of the words nose and pussy. So, what do you think? Do you think that it is? See, I guess this just shows how how um, how isolated people are now. That there are people. The only way they can get their sexual pleasure is from getting off on having their nose swabbed.
I mean, it certainly puts prick sticks back to the classroom, doesn't it? Um, I mean,
That's true. Yeah.
welcome to 2021, baby.
Yeah.
I
God.
mean, but then I knew people who had a fascination with hand sanitizer, because certain hand sanitizer can be very pungent and can
Yeah.
be quite strong, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's amazing, and like yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. People. I guess that's the thing. Maybe in a way, it's good that people are trying to find some excitement from this whole situation, even if
mm.
it is some hardcore nose action. Oh dear. And speaking of viewership and being up, this is not really a news thing. It's just a Twitter thread that I found funny. So I'll just read you the first comment. Why anime sexual is a valid sexuality and is a part of the LGBT. And this actually got 12.4 thousand quote tweets,
Mm.
569 retweets, and 2.4K likes. And it goes on to then explain, of course, an anime sexual is somebody who obviously some people are attracted to men, some people are attracted to women, and some people are attracted to anime characters. So what do you think? Do you think that anime sexual they need to be included in the LGBT movement, and we need to be fighting for anime sexual rights?
I mean, I mean, I mean, yeah. No words.
Yeah,
No.
it's beautiful. I think we should legalize anime marriage. The thing is, like, I guess with anime sexual, like at the end of the day, I assume that you can't really take. Let's suppose. I guess the issue is it's fine, but ultimately, I feel like the idea of a sexuality implies like some capacity for the person you're attracted to reciprocate that attraction. Like when you say you're heterosexual as a man, let's say, it doesn't mean that just that you're attracted to women, but also I would assume that you want women to in turn be attracted to you so you can have a relationship with them. But if you're just attracted to drawings, you can't really get that interactivity from it. So basically all you're saying is I find this thing hot, which is okay. You're allowed to do that, but it's kind of like it doesn't really affect me because it's not like you're gonna form a relationship and start a family with. I wish I knew a single anime character. I don't know, Pokemon, Missy from Pokemon,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No words.
who
Uh,
is pretty hot.
yeah. It's true.
And that is all the news. So yeah, like I say, I felt like the news was kind of slow. I mean, the most exciting thing that happened was what some woman pretended to be Spanish. There wasn't as much exciting going on. I think it's because people just kind of stopped being crazy around Christmas because it's just like they're busy with Christmas. Apparently, crazy people are really into Christmas, and that's why you just don't get these crazy stories around Christmas. But yeah, that's the news for today. So I hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Again, let's go back into our cancelling issues.
Yes.
Round two. Seeing as we are broadcasting into 2021, I would like to cancel 2020. Ha ha ha!
Oh, that's a good one, actually. I thought you were about to say you were going to cancel 2021. Just like, no, it can't be
3, 2, 1.
cancelled.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just count up.
Oh yeah. Just don't acknowledge, because it can only get worse. No, like we've been screwed on these New Year's before. Remember when everyone thought 2016 was the worst year? I remember that. Then 2020 happened, but yeah, basically, I mean, the irony is that 2020 almost cancelled itself, and then it's kind of like, in effect, the exact same thing happened as if 2020 hadn't existed at all, which is to say nothing. Like, the big thing with 2020 is that it was mostly, I mean, obviously, I want to say it wasn't actively bad, and by that I mean, like, it didn't really affect me in a directly negative way. It's just kind of like it just made my life really boring. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, that's what I mean when I say it almost cancelled itself. It's like 2020 was just nothing for me. So, which I guess is the worst thing something can be. At least if it could have been more exciting if it was bad.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, what specifically, I guess, I mean, I know what it's going to be, but just in case somebody's just woken up from a coma and this is the first thing that they're like, how am I going to catch up
They
on
come across this
this
our little
podcast?
channel.
Yeah, what would you say was the worst thing about 2020?
I mean, I mean, I mean, I mean, um,
That's your new
where
catchphrase. That's gonna.
where to start? Um, the coronavirus. I think what I'll put it, and I'll put it like this in my end of year review, which I always publish, which will be published at this point, is that if you took the year from like the 1st of January till about the 17th of March, it would be a very good year.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Because
that.
the rest of the year has been utterly shit. I was
Yeah,
stuck in my bedroom, but here we are. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah,
yeah, because I do remember. I mean, obviously, I have fond memories of our time when we met at university. But having said that, the weird thing is that was mostly in 2019. It's kind of weird to think, but the majority of us actually being at uni was 2019, and the majority of like my memories from university are from 2019. But I include them in 2020 because technically the majority of time I was actually a student was 2020. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, but yeah, I do remember January being quite fun, and I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. I guess the one good thing is like, at least now you have a story. So I guess the issue of canceling it in a way is that if you don't have, if it no longer exists, then it's kind of like you can't tell your children one day, did I ever tell you about 2020?
mm,
And make it sound way worse than it was. I mean, like, obviously make it sound more exciting, I guess, not necessarily what should be like, and then Boris Johnson and Donald Trump got coronavirus, and neither of them died. It was the worst.
yeah,
That was, yeah. No, but I mean, I do agree. In terms of it being a bad or a disappointment and worse than every other year, yes. I think, if a person was worse than any other person, you'd probably want to cancel them. So seeing as this year was worse than any other year, I think it's only fair that it should be cancelled.
good.
Now, I'm going to be cancelling, speaking of people who are worse than any other people, this is the final one. It's more Christmassy. I
Mm,
know that my scrambled egg one was sort of Christmassy, and it's one which I think might be a bit controversial because I know that quite a few people do this, and it's people who rush to open their presents on Christmas Day. And the reason I realized I can cancel it this year because I wasn't around anything like as many people this Christmas Day. So I can complain about other people on Christmas Day without people listening and thinking I'm talking about them. But it always irks me whenever I'm with any group of people on Christmas Day, and obviously all the presents are out, and just before even breakfast, they just rush down and just tear all the wrapping paper off everything they've got, and then that's it. Me personally, one, I think there's arguably not that many things to do on Christmas. I mean, obviously you watch a film, stuff like that, but most of it is just kind of hanging around. So I'm kind of like, well, if you're just going to hang around most of the time anyway, because let's be honest, that is a big part of Christmas, then you might as well kind of just dole out the presents slowly throughout the hanging out process. So that's one. And then two, I feel like, people have complained recently or forever that Christmas has become maybe a bit too materialistic. Maybe it's kind of put too much focus on the presents and like made people ungrateful and that kind of stuff. And I feel like by giving each individual gift its own kind of separate attention, where you say, oh, what's this gift, maybe think about it, everyone kind of like, oh, it's good, and then you open it and go, oh, thank you, I really like it, is much nicer than just having someone go. So yeah, that's what I'm cancelling. People who open their presents too quickly on Christmas Day. Of course, let's not forget, it used to be you opened your presents on Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's true.
Traditionally.
I'd also like to include people who open their presents before the 25th of December, because they are literally the coronavirus of fucking people.
Yes.
I literally posted out presents to people,
Mm.
and they were like, "Oh, thank you for the present. Thank you for buying it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What day is it?"
Yeah.
I just thought I'd open it. I was just like, "Fuck you. Just fuck you. Fuck you."
Yeah,
I
mean, that was more of a thing this year because obviously you had to send people things. You couldn't give it to them in person. So yeah, I sent a few presents out, and yeah, I mean, in a way, it's kind of weird because it just makes it's kind of, with cheating, when people like cheat in sports and stuff, and it's like, you're only cheating yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about this. It's sort of like they're just making their own Christmas worse because now it's going to get to Christmas and they're going to have fewer presents to unwrap. So I'm a big fan of letting things breathe, giving things time to breathe, and that's how I feel about this whole be slow to open presents, and obviously, yeah, definitely don't open them before the 25th of December, you crazy person. Also, remember in The Simpsons when Bart opens his present early and then he burns down the whole house?
This is true. This is true.
That's a good one. Love it.
Is. It really
Great.
is. Yeah, that's cancelled.
Yeah, cancelled.
Without any sort of argument about that. That is 3 out of 4
Anyway,
cancellings.
and somehow scrambled eggs didn't just I kind of knew that. I figured I didn't want to end on scrambled eggs, see, so that's why I was like, well, I should probably do scrambled eggs first.
Yeah,
because that way people watching it first of all will be like, I guess, to be fair, actually we should probably end on the worst one, because that way it will get more people's interest who are coming into it. Right now people are going to be like, oh, I'll watch this, and then they'll just go scrambled eggs. I'm like, okay, no, never mind. Unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Subscribe. We never tell people to subscribe, I don't think, so we should tell them subscribe.
Please do. If you want to get in touch, of course, please feel free to get in touch with your council issues to our email, which is councilcouncilYT@gmail.com. That is CANCELCOUNCIL.
YT. You're just Luke.
YT.
See, the thing that concerns me, at some point we're gonna have to cancel this because it's just gonna get progressively longer and longer, and by next year.
Cancel YT on our social medias as well. We'd love to hear from you and read all your comments for next week as well. But I
Bye.
guess until next week, we'll see you technically in 2021, which we're already in 2021. I've been Luke Anti-Walsh. That has been Michael Brown. We'll see you next week.
This has been a shorter one than usual.
Yeah.